Should you have sex before marriage? This is a topic that is generating debate among the unmarried, the engaged, and of course the adolescents. Many people don't even know if it's right or wrong. They don't know if they should engage in sex before marriage. All right, more to come when we come back. Thank you for joining us on Make TV. Welcome back and thank you for joining us on Make TV today on your program, Your Opinion. And I am lovely Carrie, you anchor on this program. Glad to have you again today. I have with me here this beautiful woman, Amarachi Adekunle. How are you today?
Very fine, ma.
Welcome on
Thank
the
you.
show. How
Thank
are
you.
you? All right. And with me here is another young man, vibrant youth. All right. His name is Moses UBA. Uba. Thank you for
Thank you.
being here. How are you
Very
today?
good, very good. You?
All right. Splendid. Thank you. All right. We are still on your favorite program, and if you were just joining us, please like and share. Subscribe also so that you can have updated videos so that you can be updated and have our videos as they are being posted newly. Don't forget to turn on the notification button. It's your opinion today, so we'd like to have your comments. Drop your comments in the comment space there for you. Thank you
Yeah.
once again. Right, we are talking about should you have sex before marriage?
Mm.
A lot of people were confused about this topic. Okay, some have the religious views that attempt to make them a bit restricted on this topic, while some feel, well, it's just normal. All right, then what is premarital sex, or what is sex before marriage? This is engaging in intercourse or copulating before marriage. This is not limited to uh, copulating between. This is not limited to sex between a man and a woman, but it also involves lesbianism, homosexualism, and every form of sexual vices and its type. All right, marriage is supposed to be a requisite for
Mm.
having marriage. I think marriage is supposed to be cemented with copulation, sexual relationship.
Yeah.
But why will people want to have sex before marriage? Why do you think people will want to have sex before marriage?
Well, I feel why people engage in such is because they want intimacy. They feel very close and bonded together when they have sex. They feel they become one. From the Bible, two of them become one. So
Okay.
they feel when they do such, they become close together. They commune, they communicate well through their
Okay.
feelings.
So this opinion says that sex will create intimacy with your
Yes,
partner. So
yes.
they engage in sex because of
Intimacy and
intimacy.
bond.
All right, and bonding. It
Yes.
creates bonding. All right. For me, I feel that is erroneous, but all right. That's your opinion. Okay.
Okay.
Please, why do people engage in sex before marriage?
Some also engage in sex before marriage because they feel is a way of getting pleasure, sexual
Mm.
gratification. They feel like, let me use this means to satisfy myself sexually. Of course, people get matured before marriage. I mean, sexually mature before marriage. They have feelings. They tend to grow. They have feelings that is triggered by sexual hormones. So sometimes some people lose self control. They're unable to control themselves. So they feel the best way to ease off that tension, that feelings, that those nudges they are having, especially people that have started getting attracted to the opposite sex, even to same sex, as you rightly said. So once there's an attraction, the feelings comes in, and then once they're
Touch.
unable to control themselves,
Yeah.
the best way to do to solve the problem becomes sexual intercourse.
But why
And
won't an adult be able to control himself? Of course, this is bordered on self-control.
yeah,
That is why we're human beings. Do you now say that because you're thirsty, you've not had water in days, then you see a muddy water and begin to drink? Of course, no normal human being will see dirty water
and
and
drink
drink it because
Yeah.
you know it's dangerous to
to
your
this.
health. And then you will not also say because you are famished, then you just see anything on the floor, pick
And it's
and eat. All right, that is okay. That's an opinion. That one of the reasons people go into sex before marriage is the urge,
Yeah, the
yeah,
and
the
they
urge,
feel
sexual
sexual.
the
urge.
urge, the sexual urge, is supposed to be satisfied.
Yeah,
Yeah.
In as much as you start having it at puberty,
yeah,
and
Mm.
by law, from 18 you are an adult, you are free to engage in whatever you feel
right.
is right for you. Yes, you're giving an opinion.
Yeah.
Why do you think people have sex before marriage?
I want to quickly add to what she said.
Okay, please go
You know,
ahead.
she said something about urge.
Okay.
I feel and I think it's choice.
Okay.
You can choose not to, even if you have the urge.
Mm.
That's self control. That's where self control comes in.
Yeah.
Because I have a friend, he told me straight, plain black, that every girl he dates, he must have intercourse with them. And that is his choice. And he has been doing it all through. So it depends on the person's choice. He chooses to do it. That's it. It's not the urge is there, but you can control the urge.
Yeah.
You can choose not to. But when you okay, let me do it. You choose to do it.
Mm.
God gave us power, and the power He gave us is choice.
Yeah.
That's the free will. So we have the free will to do anything we want. If the urge comes, we can say no, but we choose to just flow
Anything
with
we
it.
want, even if it's a criminal.
Even
Anything we
anything.
want, even if it's a criminal, and you know you're going
Yes,
to
you
get
know you're gonna.
prosecuted for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know
Okay.
that if you kill somebody, you get killed.
Okay.
It's your choice
But
to
you
decide to go.
continue.
Yeah.
Later, you now say it's the devil's
This
hand.
I just remember something right now.
That's
Okay.
Some years past, I remember the friend telling me when I was preaching to the young man, like telling him, "Why do you indulge in sex? You're not married and all that." He told me, "Why even God that created us and gave us these sexual organs, is He not aware that at so time we will have the feelings? Why did He allow us to grow to sexual maturity before marriage? He should have even yeah, he was just blaming God, that God is the is the problem here. Yeah, why would He like create us and allow these feelings to pop up before we start even thinking of marriage, assuming He didn't want us to indulge in sex before marriage? So He was seeing it as a reason. If I'm truly right that it's a sin, that God is not happy with it, He shouldn't have allowed us to develop such
Yeah.
feelings, such
Yeah.
maturity before time. And then that's still very wrong, because like he rightly said,
It's choice.
God gave us
Free will.
everything and then allowed us to make our choices. Whichever one you choose, life, death, and the truth of the matter is that we are all matured, and there's nobody that will say that he doesn't know what is bad or what is wrong.
Yeah.
Even if you feel like the bad thing you're doing is wrong, you also know the consequences. So when the consequences come, you also reap. So that's just it.
All right. One of the reasons
Yeah.
people will engage in premarital sex is to ascertain compatibility.
Yeah.
They want to test the sexual compatibility. But I think testing compatibility is limited to sexual pleasures alone. All right. Why I will say all right, it's okay. But that means you keep testing. You
Yes, you
keep
keep
testing
testing
and
until you
testing
get
until-
someone who
that
is
fits you.
sexually compatible with you.
Mm.
But in the meantime,
Yeah.
it's sex the only thing that is going to be happening in marriage. If that is your measure of compatibility, honestly, I don't argue on that. That okay, when you do it, you're able to test your compatibility. But that is not the only thing in marriage.
Sure.
Mm.
That's not the only thing in marriage. Say, I hear a lot of people say that I cannot, I cannot drive a car I have not tested.
Yeah.
Then you compare a human being to your car.
Car.
You have to be testing
Very
and
serious.
test driving and that you test this and test that. So yes,
Even in marriage, we test and get tired of. So one thing about sex
no,
is
the testing they are talking about is they want to test to see the one that will satisfy their
Satisfy them.
sexual appetite than going into marriage now and
And
now
finding out
having
that
having problem with
Yeah.
maybe the
Us-
man has a short a small manhood, the woman has some sexual problems and all that. They want to know
know what they're going in for.
yes, they want to know what they are going in for. All
Well,
right. Mm-hmm.
one other reason why people also indulge in sex before marriage, I feel, is pressure from peers,
Friends.
from
Yes.
friends.
Okay.
You find out that at a certain age, there are some friends, depending on the kind of friends one keeps anyway, but there's this mindset that people will always be influenced by their friends, by their peers. So if one has peers, friends that are always talking about sex, always maybe they indulge in it, and then even if you don't want to indulge in it, the pressure might throw you off balance in one or two occasions. You feel like let me be, because they would want to find out from you whether you are having the same experience they are having, and
Yeah.
then when you are unable to say something about it, they will call you a novice. They will even go, there are all manner of mockery names and all that they will call you, and then because of that shame, some are unable to manage that situation, so they tend to, let me even feel among, let me feel belong, so that when next they're discussing such topic, I'll have something to
To
say.
say they feel
Okay. The environment.
Yes.
The environment you belong to.
Yeah.
Okay. Especially if it's an environment like where people tend to uphold such things.
Yeah.
And you feel odd if you are not
In their
among.
midst.
So yes, if you won't be able to flow. They will see you as odd if you don't flow with the tide. So people tend to also engage in it, and because everybody in the environment's mind is already preset to do it, they don't see it
That's
as
wrong.
anything. Okay, why not? Just let's have fun. Is it not fun? What's there? You enjoy, I enjoy. So what's there? All right. So these are practical reasons why people engage in premarital sex. Then urge is a first thing I
Yeah.
would say, because every adult has urge at one particular time or the other. So when you now have um, an opposite sex who is close to you, automatically the drive comes.
Comes
in. Yeah.
Yes, the drive comes even more. But that is not to say the fact that you have sex drive towards someone doesn't mean you have that is love.
there's love.
That is where teenagers, or will I say most people confuse this.
Yeah.
The fact that, of course, that's one of it. When you are attracted to someone, somehow
Okay.
there is this sexual
Feelings.
connection, yeah,
Yeah.
the chemistry. But then some people tend to confuse it with love. So
That's
for
not right.
them, it's a way to show love. It's a way to show love. Yes. Remember when we were growing up, we were still naive. Somebody will say, okay, you
Yeah.
find your partner will say, okay, if you feel you love me, then
Show
show
me
me
love.
love. Show me
Show
love.
me love.
That's not that's not it. All right. So
Okay,
we're
very well.
still on why people engage in premarital sex. Sex is supposed to be after um,
Marriage.
marriage. All right. We'll be right back
Okay.
to talk more on this topic. Welcome back. We were talking about why people have premarital sex. We talked about, we said some see it as a way of a way to a certain uh,
Pleasure.
compatibility.
Compatibility.
Some people see it as, what did you say first the
Pleasure.
other time? No, not
Um,
pleasure. What you said first.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
compatibility.
Not compatibility.
Okay, how
A way
to
of
Bond.
getting bonded.
bonding? Yes,
Yeah.
yes, bonding, and you also said mentioned
Pleasure,
sexual
Pleasure,
gratification.
peer pressure.
gratification,
Yeah.
pressure,
Pressure from peers.
pressure. Yes,
Like,
and individuals who grow in areas where moral values are low, like in the slums, they tend to engage in, not limited to sexual activities, uncontrolled. They just do it. They felt as it comes, we do it. And under the influence of alcohol, anything can
Yeah,
happen. People
yeah.
can also engage in sexual activities when people are under the control of alcohol. Then lack of proper parental guidance. If young ones, children, young adolescents are not properly guided on sexual matters, they
Yeah.
tend to do it.
Yeah.
Yes, they tend to engage in sexual premarital sex. Then the kind of environment a child grows, it now becomes a tradition when you see that we there are lots of people cohabiting. They are not married.
Yeah.
They
They
just
just stay
cohabit.
together.
They stay together and they keep having sex.
Also,
Eventually something happens to that relationship.
yeah.
Yes, there's always something happening. Yes, you were about to
Also,
say something.
the kind of videos that people get exposed to, that
Okay.
people watch,
Mm.
also contributes to this. Like,
Okay.
people get watching pornographic
Pornographic
videos
videos
and-
and contents.
and
Okay.
content and pictures. It's really also makes them to want to do it.
Right.
And some are also lured to it.
Okay.
Actually, there are some that is not really, maybe that they intentionally did it for pleasure or for all these reasons that were given.
Some
Like,
are forced into it.
yeah, some are forced into it, like the cases of rape. Then we also find out that some teachers in school take advantage of the
Children.
adolescent, of children, like we talked about the other time. So we find out then some uncles also, take advantage of their.
It's okay. This
Yeah.
happens, but in this context, we're talking majorly about individuals,
Reasons.
or let's say adults,
Yeah.
individual who
Okay.
voluntarily get into it. Of
Okay.
course, why teachers ask their teachers, adults, people around, ask out their younger ones, right? Have sex with them. Okay, that's also premarital sex, but we are talking more about adults
Okay.
who are engaged, or youths who are already mature
Yeah.
and engaging in marital sex, as it is. In the religious views, both Muslims and Christians see this as sin. before God. But yet, many of them are still confused. Is it all right if this is the person I'm to marry? Can't I engage in sex? People are still confused. Even those who engage in it still have uh, some kind of shame, some kind of guilt and restriction
Yeah.
over it, right? So we going to be. You want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say something. I feel another why people engage into sex before marriage is they feel it is stress, mental stress, stress from work. Just come back and you feel okay, okay.
Of course,
Best way to
scientifically that is correct.
yeah.
All right, scientifically that is correct. But sex, it's supposed to be after marriage.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we people have their various reasons and opinions why they do it, health reasons, and numerous reasons that people have for engaging in premarital pleasure, sexual pleasure, right?
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and look at the the cons, the disadvantages, or let's say the effects, the impact of having sex before marriage. What do you think is the impact of sex before marriage? Let's start with you, Amabachi. You are married, and you should have more experience on this.
Okay, having sex before marriage, the truth of the matter is that there's this feeling of guilt or regret. There is nothing you're going to do to remove it, even if you pretend that, even if you're pretending that it's not there. The truth of the matter is that you will have it, you will experience it, whether you did it with your right sense or not. There is always a regret coming after it. So that alone is enough reason to tell us that it's wrong. Yeah, I don't think we need more
And
debate
one
on
of the
this.
partners may feel used.
May feel used, yes.
May feel used.
There's always regret. There's always a bad feeling. Let me just put it that way in quotes. There's always a bad feeling. Even if you enjoyed it when it was ongoing, after the whole thing, people that have indulged in sex before marriage that are doing it, I've had them say it. I've heard from them before, and I feel it's true, because personally, after the whole act, you might not even know that something is going wrong when you are in the act. It's when you finish.
Not. After you get to the climax of the
And
pleasure, and
yes,
then the eyes
your eyes will now
opens, the
open.
consciousness.
You now start
The
imagining a
regret
whole
feeling
lot
that you
of
shouldn't
things,
have
the
done
things
it.
you should have imagined before you started. Some will even go as bad as imagining the kind of person they even indulged it with. They were like, of all people,
All right.
and all that. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Another effect is the transfer of sexual transmitted disease. There was a time, I talked about my friend who said he must have sex with every of his girlfriends. By the time he got sexual transmitted disease, he got an infection, and he spent lots of money to treat himself. And it
Sure.
has been, it continued to transfer from one person to the another. From one person to another, sexually transmitted disease is a very bad effect. Many people have lost their lives from
HIV,
it.
AIDS.
So many people has become barren and impotent
Yeah.
because of it. That's another issue.
Okay. All right.
Also, one of the effects is unwanted pregnancies,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the side of unwanted pregnancy, whether
Both sides.
both sides, no matter the age, as long as there is tendency for you to
Marriage
get
that is not planned.
Yeah.
Is unwanted pregnancy.
unwanted, you can get unwanted pregnancy, become a mother or a father without
Without
plan,
planning.
without preparations, and you know what that can bring about. Can even shatter your destiny if you don't manage it properly.
Yeah.
So there is tendency for that.
And that also will lead to abortion.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. So people
So
that
because
don't,
of shame,
yeah,
what the
shame.
people will say, so they go for abortion.
Mm.
So, and at the end of the day, after the abortion, is either it leads to infection or the person may not even be able
People survive
to,
it. 50,
may
50.
lead to death.
Mm.
And all of that. Okay?
The the fear of breakup is
Mm.
another effect.
Fear of breakup.
The fear of breakup. Some
Okay.
people indulge in sex thinking that it will keep them in the relationship for good.
Mm.
Like it has sealed the whole thing. That's it. But they
When
don't
they are
know.
not married.
Humans cannot be predictable.
Yes, no.
I can love you today and tomorrow I don't love you anymore.
Yeah.
That's something as far as they're not bonded in marriage.
Mm.
Since they're not bonded in marriage, anything can happen. But you thinking that okay, having sex will keep you in the some people even go as far as taking oaths
Mm.
in order to keep the relationship. But
Or it
doesn't-
still
it
breaks.
It still breaks, and then
And
they,
there are
still
big
breaks.
consequences
the
for
heart,
it.
the heartbreak becomes bigger, becomes
Because
worse.
I've
Because
seen there was a story at my around my area there. A lady committed suicide because of the boyfriend left. After they've enjoyed themselves, they've had, I'm sure they must have sex many of the time. And the guy said he's no longer interested anymore because of the depression and anger. The lady committed suicide, and after 2 weeks of everything, the guy was found with another girl again.
Of course, of course, of course. Once a man has your carnal knowledge of you, the the respect will drop.
Withdraw.
Then he begins to see your flaws.
Mm.
He begins to see the flaws. So after testing you now, he will want to go to another person. And if he finds the other person more enjoyable, and most likely character wise finds the other person better than you, he will go for that person. So the fact that you have sex with someone doesn't keep him. After all, we have there are sex workers who expose their bodies to everybody. They have sex with everybody, but that doesn't mean that they have any intimacy. Their sex is another thing, intimacy is another thing. Intimacy comes by communication,
Yeah.
understanding, and
Understanding.
attitude, right
Right,
attitudes.
character.
That's what brings about intimacy.
Yeah.
Yes, not
Not
sex.
sex.
Is only a part of it. Of course, you can have a marriage without uh, good sex anyway. It's one of the things that keep marriage together, but it's not the major thing in marriage. There's a lot, in fact. And I was reading a particular study, a particular case study that says that before the show, that says that most of the marriages that end in divorce have engaged in premarital sex. So it's most likely that those who have engaged in premarital sex more than 10 times will divorce before those who did not engage in
Yeah.
premarital sex.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. So yes, we are still on the effects of premarital sex. Of course, there is effects of the premarital sex. Why people are justified by their various reasons of having it. All right, we still have the impact socially, scientifically. All right, and of course, spiritually.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Another effect of premarital sex is people who tend to indulge in premarital sex before marriage. They find it difficult to trust their partner when they are married. That's one of the
Yes.
major problem that marriages are having today, because they have this mindset that if we could do it before we got married, what's the tendency that he or she is not doing it behind me because it's something, if you could not, if they couldn't control themselves at that point, the trust can't be there in the marriage. The trust cannot be there, and there's no way a marriage can thrive without trust. Okay, you see the man suspecting the woman
Mm-hmm.
when maybe with a male friend or something, or a colleague at the office, and then the woman suspecting the man when a lady or a female folk comes around him. That's one of the effects. You see, there can't be trust in that kind of relationship. It will always be like that. And then some men, those men that usually involve in sex before marriage, they, they might get married and find their wife unsatisfactory, because they've been testing and testing and testing. So at a point they are used to so many of it, so they find it difficult to, um keep themselves with
Which
one.
one
Yes, that's where marriage unfaithfulness
comes?
comes in.
Infidelity.
You find out that men tend to move out there. Why are they going out? It's not, some say it's in the nature of men to cheat. I don't believe so. Is all about what you've trained yourself with. Once you've been testing all manner of women, you can't tell me that you get married with one woman and
And
then
stay
you
with
will
one.
keep her for the rest of your life without looking for another one. Why? That's the way you've been living your life. So that's where infidelity comes in marriage. And then all manner of stories we are hearing today, breakups and all that, even domestic violence as a result of misunderstandings and all that. So it's not a good one at all. It's very, very detrimental.
Most often than not, most couples who have premarital sex will always have it after marriage. Most of them
Yeah.
engage in infidelity.
Yeah.
So the fact that one is married will not stop
Doesn't
him from
solve-
having
yeah.
extramarital affairs. And then you keep meeting people you have had sex with, and
Yes.
once you meet them, it's a natural law
Hmm.
that once
Tend
you've
to
done
go
it,
back
you
to
want
it.
to do it again.
Yeah.
Especially if that privacy, if you are
The
close,
environment is
yes,
created.
yes, if the environment allows you to do that, you find yourself doing it. All right, we'll be right back to conclude this session. Don't forget to like and share. Drop your comments. Thank you for joining me, TV. Welcome back. Thank you. We have been talking about the effects of having sex before marriage, premarital sex. We've listed a lot of cons to engaging in this, right? Comparison also. The comparison comparison, when you already start having sex with one, you start to compare, and one of the partners who feel compared may become jealous, and this results into manslaughter and all
Mm.
that. Yes, that's the height of jealousy.
Yeah.
Like the woman in Oshobo who killed the husband because of suspected infidelity, right? So we lost of interest, loss of interest. The man, once a man, okay, I think I've mentioned that before,
Yeah.
that once a man has a carnal knowledge of a woman, he seems to lose interest. Well, some may tend to say that that's not correct. It doesn't mean that he will lose interest, but he had seen it all. There is
Nothing
nothing,
new, nothing unique
there
or
is
genuine
no
or-
passion,
Passion,
you
drive.
know, like when he has not discovered the woman,
Mm.
the drive tends to
Yeah.
drop.
Yeah.
So she becomes just like every other day person to him,
Mm.
except there are other things the woman has that gingers
Mm.
him. He will lose interest and simply go to another person. Maybe may even be her friend.
Mm.
Yes, may even be a friend. Yes, as uh, as an adult, you have the right to choose what you want. Uh, our society our society allows you to gives you the right to choose whatever you want to do, especially when it comes to marital issues, sexual issues. All these things are still your right,
Yeah.
your right. But then looking at the religious aspects, Islam and Christianity is a major religion in the country. Both religion frowns at
That's it.
premarital sex.
Yeah.
I was reading a study on Maiduguri, talking about the. I read the effect of premarital sex, and it stated clearly that in Islam premarital sex is a sin. It is not allowed. And in the Bible also, it is stated clearly that we should flee all fornication, or
Communication.
some people say more fornication is not right, or every sexual sin. And then there is a portion that says that marriage is honorable, the bed undefiled.
Undefined.
That means normally the bed should not be defiled. There should be no sexual intercourse before marriage. Where there are cultures also that tolerate premarital sex, there are cultures even in this Nigeria where the woman and the man have to be engaging in sexual rituals
Yeah.
days before the marriage. But then there are also cultures where it is not permitted. It is expected that a woman comes as a virgin,
Yeah.
and a woman who marries as a virgin, there are some rituals that will be done, and
Yeah.
of course, it is honor and glory to the family
Yeah.
of such woman. All right, where there may be while there may be scientific advantages like cooling off stress and all that. Of course, you will not only want to consider that, but you will look for uh, uh, lasting negative. You look at lasting negative impacts of what you want to do. All right, than immediate gratification. I think most problem we have is that we think first about the immediate gratification than looking at the future. Yes, the immediate gratification is what drives us than the the
The
the
future.
yes, the lasting impact.
Consequences.
Yes, there are consequences also that some people don't live don't live to tell. So if you're going into marriage in this with this person and you love him, why can't you wait? Why can't you wait? Why the rush? Why can't you wait, discover this person? I think if this is scope also, it will reduce the rate of divorce.
Divorce.
Because
Yeah.
once you have sex with somebody, you're already blindfolded.
Mm.
You cannot see their character. Most of these character flaws that later develop, that you later see in marriage, are already there.
Yeah.
Those red flags are there, but because you have started having that intimacy, you tend to lose focus on the things you're supposed to pay attention on. All right, we have come to the end of the show today. What is your take? Should you have sex before marriage? Is it right? We would like to have your comments in the section box. Don't forget also to like our channel to keep having more informative videos from Mate TV, especially on your opinion. All right, I've been here all along with Marachi. Thank you for joining me on
Thank
the
you.
show. And Moses, thank
Yeah.
you for joining me on the show. I am your anchor today, lovely Kerry. See you next time.